Raider Nation, we got a banger today. Coming up here live on the Raiders Report, interview with Raiders wide receiver Dante Thornton Jr. Yo, I found out I was going to be interviewing Thornton. You knew I had to wear the Al Davis shirt. He's smiling down because this guy is a flippin' Raider. We're also going to be doing a Raiders Report mailbag, so if you want to get some of those questions, comments in, make sure to use hashtag Raiders, or you can super chat to skip the line. I'll also tell you this, if you want to get on the show to ask Dante a question, you're going to have to super chat. Also, I figured it'd be pretty cool for us to give away a signed Dante Thornton jersey today, and we're going to do that at the very, very end of today's program. So here's how we're going to do it. If you want to be entered in for a chance to win a signed Dante Thornton jersey, $10 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365 to enter. Every single dollar that we raise will go to proceeds to benefit the Driven Throughout the Journey Foundation. And the winner of that duck race gets the signed jersey. I'll try to get you the jersey by the end of July, by the end of August. Just be a little bit flexible with me since my honeymoon is next week. Before we bring on Mr. Thornton, I want to tell y'all why we have such a great player on the field. Y'all know his speed. He is 6'5", he's 4'3", speed type of fast. We're talking about an alien at the wide receiver position. And I want guys that are freaks of nature on the field. But I also want good human beings off the field. So here's what the Driven Throughout the Journey Foundation mission is. Driven Throughout the Journey Foundation mission is to be a beacon of light for our youth, families, and communities. We will provide resources and opportunities to the youth as well as seeing the potential in all. We will extend our best efforts and assistance to those who seek guidance within our foundation. Driven Throughout the Journey Foundation is striving for extremely buoyant back-to-school drives, Thanksgiving and Christmas drives, while in addition to an annual youth football camp, which is destined to have youth from all ages. With the outcome of these events, we will continue to improve and strengthen the youth's connections to vital education around the world. We aim to do this by donating funds to further progress student academic journey and help them excel and flourish. Ultimately, the Driven Throughout the Journey Foundation is an uplifting force for others to use so they can advance themselves academically, socially, and spiritually. Our goal is to create well-rounded individuals that lay down the bricks to their own path in life. The entire team of the Driven Throughout the Journey Foundation values family and unity above all. We believe that youth are the future, and the key to generational success is to invest in the future. So again, if you want to get your questions, your comments up on the show here for Dante Thornton, you're going to have to use hashtag Raiders, get those questions up here, or you're going to have to super chat to skip the line. But you know what? I know y'all didn't come here to see me. I know y'all came here to see Dante Thornton Jr., and I mean this. The fact that we were able to lock him in the month of July, the fact that a bunch of y'all are pulling up here to the Raiders Report in the month of July, the fact that we're almost at 196,000 subscribers on this channel, I want to be able to do more of these player interviews. And the fact that everything that Driven Throughout the Journey messages, to me, it's exactly what Pete Carroll and John Spytek are trying to build with the Las Vegas Raiders, because we're trying to build for the future as well. So if you want to bring on Dante Thornton Jr., start spamming 10 down below, and let's get this thing rocking and rolling. So without further ado, he's doing this in the background, and I'm excited as well. Dante, what's going on, my man? How you doing today, bro?
I'm good, man. What's good?
Oh, man, I'm excited. I've been looking forward to this all freaking day. The Chat Sports team here is super fired up to have you. I also have a few Tennessee alums that were patiently waiting in the background to see if you're actually going to pull up. So today, I'm going to ask you a few different questions. I have a few questions as well from Raider Nation, and then I'm going to open it up to the nation to ask you just even more questions on top of that. The first thing I got to ask, though, you got a lot of speed. Al Davis loves speed. If you had the opportunity to right now look in the eyes of Mr. Davis, what would you say to him? Because I want to know what it means to be a Raider to you.
I'll just say I thank you for the opportunity because, like you said, the Al Davis pick. So for me, with knowing that that's the type of guy that he's looking for, and I'm that type of person who wants me to get my all for this team, and I'm going to do that for these next 3 to 4 years and however long I'm going to be here. I hope that's the rest of my career.
Hey, man, I'll tell you this. If I can lock you into silver and black for the rest of your career, I don't think that that's a bad idea at all. There was a lot of hype around you this offseason, and I know that the Raiders really value relationships. Talk to me about your relationship personally with Pete Carroll, John Spytek, or anybody else that has really connected with you on that staff.
I say with Coach Pete Carroll, I say we have a great relationship. Like even from the moment when I picked up the phone and he was talking to me, he was the first person like throughout this whole process that told me like, a lot of people don't notice the things that you did at Oregon that are like big parts of your game in terms of blocking and then my route running ability. So just knowing that he actually took the time out to go back and look at my older college tape and just saying how much he cared about making sure he made this pick on me, it means a lot to me. And he's a great coach. Like, I love him to death. Every single day he talks to me, and he always gives me different points to work on every single day. So he's one of those coaches that's going to constantly make sure his players are getting better, and he's going to make sure you stay on top of that.
I love that you brought that up because I can remember going back and, when I first heard about Dante Thornton Jr., I only saw the Tennessee tape. Look, I hope you don't get mad at me for saying this. I thought the offense at times was a little gimmicky, and I don't think that we fully got to see the best version of you. And I do think that you run a lot more complete route tree, but at the same time, 25.4 yards per catch is pretty electric. What do you think is the most electric experience you had playing SEC football?
I say this past season when we played Florida. I mean, not Florida. Yeah, we won in overtime, but then really Alabama at home. Because we beat them, and then the whole stadium stormed the field. But it was like a delayed storm. Like, we won the game. The clock hit 0. We started to run out onto the field, and nobody was storming. It was like I looked to the middle of the field, looked back, and like the whole field was covered. So that was definitely like the craziest experience for me.
I love hearing that, man. I had the opportunity when I was young to go to a Penn State game. It was a whiteout many years ago. Rashard Mendenhall, Juice Williams. Illinois was ranked like 21 in the country.
I've been to, I think, 2 or 3 whiteout games because I was committed to Penn State my sophomore year of high school.
Oh, really? I did not know that. That's dope. You're from what, Baltimore, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll say this. I would have rather you go to Penn State, but now that you're here with the Raiders, that's all I really care about. I actually got a question, and this one's from a guy that watches the show all the time. His name is Patrick Roche, and he wants to know which player currently on the team do you think has a breakout season? So besides yourself, because I'm hoping that happens, is there another player maybe from minicamp, maybe from OTAs, offseason, that you're like, that guy's catching my eye? Who do you think is going to break out this year for the Raiders?
Trey Tucker.
Trey Tucker? Tell me why.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I watched throughout this whole camp or, like, OTAs and stuff, Trey never missed a rep, like, throughout the practice. He was in there every single play, and he's dominating every single rep. So just seeing that shows that he's putting in the work, and more so putting in the work in terms of on the field, but he's making sure he take care of his body so he can be out there on the field every day. So seeing that just let you know, like, once the things really get rolling, he's going to definitely excel.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Trey Tucker, I really hope that he does take that next step. So we got another one coming in here, and this is more of a test, dude. Like, Raider Nation's going to tell you how it is, and one of my favorite things that this team does is they rally behind their guys. So I got a little bit of a test for you. How long can you do the Raiders chant? Can I get one right now?
Raiders.
So you gotta tell people why you can't get too loud because you're at what? You're at Summer League right now, right?
Oh yeah, I'm at Summer League basketball game.
Yeah, so he's like, I was talking to him before we went live. Who are you there to see? Your buddy? He's plays for what? The Grizz?
Yeah, my dog Dark Queen. He just got drafted for the Pelicans.
Okay, there you go. What? They're playing the Grizzly, right?
Yeah, they're playing the Grizzlies right now.
Okay, that's what I heard. Pelicans. I don't watch too much basketball. I'm not gonna lie to you, but at 6'5", do you think you could do a windmill?
Oh, I can. Yeah, I can. Only thing I can do is dunk. I can't shoot, can't dribble. I can play defense.
I'll tell you this right now. I don't have nearly the amount of money you do, but if you ever get the opportunity to yam on Maxx Crosby, I will send you a $100 Venmo in my name. No?
I'm cool.
Dante. That just means you got more money. You don't need it. I respect it. I respect it. I do have a question, though, for the entire nation here. I'm hoping that you can be somewhere around 20 yards per catch this upcoming season. For the entire nation, let me know, over or under 20 yards per catch for Thornton, because a lot of times people think of you as just a speedster, and I'm not going to lie, it kind of rubs me the wrong way. What other routes do you think that you're a lot better at that people don't give you credit for?
Oh, I say it's a lot about, like, dig routes, slants, corner routes, comebacks, really a lot of those routes, really.
So with a more complete route tree, you're going to get more opportunities in the NFL, and I'm excited to see that. One of my favorite things about watching Geno Smith tape is how accurate he is, and just he's kind of in command of the offense, and people don't realize that he can attack 10 yards, 20 yards, hell, explosive plays down the field, 40 yards, which is kind of your bread and butter. What has it been like working with Geno this offseason? And talk to me about what you expect from yourself and Geno going forward.
I'm gonna lie, I love Geno. Like, from the moment I got here, he's embraced me. Like, he's basically, like, took me under his wing and been that big brother to me. Like, every single day before practice starts, I go out there and I stand next to him and we just talk all day. We throwing back and forth and we just talking. So like just knowing that he's seen me put the work in that I've been doing so far, and that I guess that made him believe in me. So knowing that he believed in me make me want to work even harder. So I feel like the expectation, like for me personally, I don't really put like goals or like number goals or anything like that. My biggest goal with me having the mindset that I have and everybody else around me, including Geno, that's our main goal to win. So if we all had that same common goal, nothing can stop us.
I love that mentality. I'm going to bring in some questions here from Raider Nation. I know Raider Ron, he's one of the big donors to this channel. In fact, I'm not shitting you when I say this, Dante. I got a Raider Ron tattoo on my leg because he broke a record on our show. Full Raider leg sleeve. Took 14 hours. It's on YouTube if you want to check it out. I got a question for you. What player do you emulate your game after? He said personally that he thinks that you remind him from a gameplay standpoint of Randy Moss, but the mentality of Tim Brown. Is there like a old school Raiders player that you're like, you know what? I'm like that guy.
Nah, it's crazy that you said it. I would say for myself, Randy Moss. And then I like the Tim Brown one because like all the guys, or not the guys, but like the training staff, every morning before practice, I take my fingers, and that's how Tim Brown played. So they say that remind them of him.
So Randy Moss, Tim Brown, I would love to be able to get that type of combination, though. I want the Randy Moss, honestly, that Tom Brady played with, not the Moss that we had here in Oakland, but don't tell him I said that. Let's go with another question here. This one's coming in from Venthrak, Mount Raidermore. What is your favorite movie of all time?
My favorite movie of all time is Good Burger.
Good Burger. Well, you got to give me the Welcome to Good Burger.
Nah, man.
No, I don't know you like that.
But a Good Burger, can I take your order? Yeah, that's my movie right there for sure.
All right, hey, I've watched it a few times. It's been a long, long time ago. My favorite movie personally is Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Never seen it. See?
Never.
It's all good. It's all good. I got one coming in here from David Gonzalez. It's a super chat. Who is the toughest opponent you have faced in training camp from the defensive side of the football?
I'd say Eric Stokes.
Okay, why is that?
I just feel like he's very experienced and like he's one of those faster guys. So he can play a little bit off and be able to recover, or he can press me up real close and be able to run with me the whole time. So that's definitely one of the tougher guys that I've gone. Or DCAM. It's tricky. It's our defense is really loaded.
Okay. I know there's a lot of long, lanky guys, and I'm actually really happy that you brought up DeCamerion Richardson because I know that sometimes when a new regime comes in, there's a lot of question marks. I really like Darian Porter, Stokes, Jacorian Bennett. Hopefully he's a lot healthier this season. DeCamerion Richardson, though, I'm really happy that you brought that one up. This one's coming in from Sean Irish. My boy Dante Thornton Jr., do you have a planned celebration for your first touchdown? And after you answer this, I'm going to tell you what the Raiders Report watchers want your first touchdown celebration to be, because we've had discussions about it.
In my mind, I don't know yet. I got a few in mind. I'm going to keep them a secret. I want to know what they want me to do.
All right, so the one that we had the other day, it's funny. Some guy just sent in a $100 super chat, which on this show, when a hundo comes in, we bang. I'm not going to do that for you here. But the touchdown celebration that the nation wanted here on the Raiders Report, you're going to need 3 people. First, you got to get somebody that you can kind of like sit on as a stool. And then the third person, probably an offensive lineman a little bit bigger, milk them like a cow. Though, I'm just going to tell you, you got to do it. You got to do it more like near their nipples and not near their crotch because for obvious reasons. Yay or nay? What do you think's the percentage? I promise you this, dude. If you do that during a celebration, I'm going to lose my flipping mind on this channel.
No, I gotta think on that one. I gotta talk to management about that, and we'll get back to y'all on that one.
That's a good answer. I can tell you've been talking to Jacob plenty. Let's go to Bishop. What's up, Bishop? He is Randy Moss 2.0. I'm so glad he's wearing silver and black. Can't wait to see him light it up against our division. I also saw one. If you could go to the Richard Gonzalez. We had a guy earlier. He actually DM'd me this, kind of going through a little bit of a tough time. He just wants a shout out. His name is Richard Gonzalez. He had something through dialysis. Could you give him a shout out real quick?
Yeah, shout out my guy, Richard Gonzalez, man.
Appreciate you, Richard. Hopefully everything you're going through keeps it going. Let's go to Cove Utter. This is the guy that wanted the celebration. Welcome to the nation, Dante. Off the top of your head, who are the top 5 defensive backs you are excited to go up against this coming year?
Christian Gonzalez,
Okay.
Dirk Stingley,
Good answer.
Pat Surtain,
Good answer.
anybody from the Chargers,
And anybody from the Chiefs.
anybody from the Chiefs.
Hell yeah, man. No, I really, really want you to light up Surtain. I think he right now is probably the top cornerback in the NFL. Is Christian, obviously you guys were what, teammates for how many years?
Yeah, 1 year.
1 year back at Oregon? All right, I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that. Let's go to another question if we have one. This was from Def Halo. What is the biggest adjustment going from college football to pro?
For me personally, I'll say like the speed of the game and just like learning the defense. Because like in college, most defenses like what you see is going to be what it is. And in the NFL, they know how to disguise it very well. So just knowing that at a snap, it could look like one coverage, and then the moment you get running, they rotate and change things up. So just knowing like you got to do a lot of film study and really learn the game a lot more now. And then like the game just sped up. Like everybody out there is getting paid the big bucks to play this game, and they're the best of the best. So like it ain't gonna be like no off day.
For sure. I got a few more questions for you, and then I'm going to open it up still to like the nation. They're going to get some more in. Ashton Jeanty, from what we've been seeing, from what we've been hearing, and that grin, I think kind of explains it all. What have you been seeing from Ashton? And I've said this before, and I hope that you don't get upset by this, but I said I'm going to measure your success on the Raiders based on, like, if Dante's on the field and Jeanty's averaging 5 yards per carry, compared if Dante's not on the field and Ashton's averaging 4.5. Do you think that you're like the perfect decoy on the field for when Jeanty's there? And I hope that you don't take that decoy word to heart.
And like I'll say, like you can say me, but you got Jacoby, Brock, Trey. Then you throw me in there, and Ashton. Like it's too many weapons. Like in terms of the pass game side of it, y'all have the defenses that we play on. I have to put their attention on Jacoby and Brock because they know that they are the guys. So that opened up places for Trey, me, and the other receivers. But then you got Ashton Jeanty, who can run at their face every single play. So now they're going to have to pick and choose. Do we want to stop the run, or do we want to cover the pass? If you cover the pass, we're going to run the ball all day. If we try to stop the run, we're going to throw the ball all day. So, like, it's a double-edged sword that is going to get very tricky for people to handle.
And honestly, dude, after seeing the Raiders offense the last few years, and I feel like I'm allowed to say that, I want to see an explosive attack, and I want to see a lot of points be put up on the board. I got a trivia question for you, so hopefully you like trivia. So, there are only 3 wide receivers in combine history who were 6'4" or taller to run a 4.35 40. Can you name all 3 of those receivers?
The first guy, what's his name? Dante Thornton.
There you go.
DK Metcalf and Calvin Johnson.
I say that's pretty elite company. What does it mean to you to even – I hope that you are those players, and I hope that, you're probably hoping the exact same thing. But what does it mean to you to even be in the same breath as those 2 guys?
It's a great feeling. Like, for me personally, like, Calvin Johnson is my all-time favorite receiver. So just knowing that my name will be placed in that same category as him for the rest of football, like the rest of football history, on that is like a great feeling to have. It's just saying that those are 2 of the best receivers that play the game. So just knowing that I'm in that same thing, it's just like a higher standard I gotta hold myself to.
Absolutely. So I know you said you don't judge yourself based on maybe some of the numbers. I'm not going to sit here and I'd say that I don't believe you, but there has to be a number. Like, there has to be a number this year where you're like, I want this amount of receiving yards, this amount of touchdowns, and you're like, you just don't care about it.
Nah, I really don't. Like, and I want to say that I always was like that. I made that shift in my mindset, like my senior year in college. And personally, like my approach to that is like, I feel like when you put a number goal on something and you don't meet that, it has a negative impact on your conscience. And that starts to pile on top of each other when you don't meet those goals. So for me personally, my top goals, I have 4 of them, or 3 really, is to win, be the best team that I can be, and take advantage of every opportunity that I'm given, whether that's in a game, in practice, or in the meeting room. And if I have all of those, it allows me to use my teammates and everybody to have the same goals as me to meet my goals. And if we all work together on that, I don't have to worry about having to have a personal agenda with anything.
I respect that. And It's a great answer to have, and I think like we always say, you play for the team on the front. That way, it blesses the name on the back. You did mention about being a good teammate. Out of all the players that you have on that team, who do you think is like right now your go-to guy? Like who's your best friend on the Raiders right now?
Trey or Zachary Franklin.
Okay, I like that. How's Zachary been looking? He's from what? He's Illinois, right?
Yeah, he been looking good, man. That's definitely my dog. Like I say, man,
tough guy.
We instantly clicked once he got here. Like from the moment we've been here, we always be with each other every single day. So that's definitely my guy.
I got a question coming in from Conscience. Have you and Trey Tucker raced yet?
Nah, we ain't raced yet.
You got him? Because I know Trey's quick, dude. He's somebody where I actually think if you put him in a phone booth, I don't think I get a hand on him.
Nah, it's tricky. I'll always take myself.
It's a good answer.
Yeah, I'm always take myself. Hold on 1 second. Oh, snap. What happened? Oh,
I can still hear you. You're good.
There we go.
You know what?
Yeah, I'm always take myself for sure. But it definitely be a good race.
Yeah, your video right now is a little bit breaking up. It's all right though. We can still hear you. I actually one time did an interview with an old Raiders player, Jermaine Illuminor, and he actually did the whole interview naked. I'm not kidding. He was in his sauna, completely naked, when he did it. I got another one coming in here from a true story. You don't believe me? Go back, check it out. Donte, are you adjusting well to the short and the crossing pattern since in college you used to go long, basically? So how have you been doing with some of these crossing patterns short? I guess that's the question. How are you dealing with some of these crossing patterns?
I'm adjusting to it. Like I said, like at Oregon, I did a bunch of that stuff, so it wasn't like something foreign to me. Like my whole life, I've been playing receiver and running a lot of those routes. It just happened to be that my last 2 years of my college career, I didn't do much of that. So, yeah, it definitely. To answer the question, I'm adjusting very well to it. Sure.
I respect it. Let's go to B-Rabe, and let's do 3 more questions for Donte. So if anybody wants to get them in, let's get the questions in right now. B-Rabe, as an Oregon Duck fan, how excited are you about Chip Kelly's offense?
I'm very excited for it because, like, my last game in college football, he whooped us bad. So seeing what he did in the offense and now playing in the offense, I can see how he did that. So I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, Chip Kelly, a great X's and O's guy. I think he's also so solid at, being able to extend the field. I just got a big super chat from Tri-Van. He said he's a Mount Raidermore member. He said, just listening to you is getting me hyped. How hyped are you? Training camp is what? You guys report a week from today. What are you expecting going into your first training camp as now a professional football player?
I'm just excited to get to work, really. Like, I had a lot of downtime over this past few weeks or whatever it may be. I'm just ready to get back into it, like a more structured schedule, have things going. And like right now, I can play football. Football is all I'm doing right now. That's my job. So that's all I wanted. Not being have to worry about school or anything else, just strictly football. And that's what I get right now. So I can't wait to get back to it.
Training camp, Veterans Report on the 22nd. We got Dante Thornton Jr. here live on the Raiders Report. He's been answering some questions, and Tri-Van, he's a big-time donor here on this show, so I just wanted to be able to show him a little bit of love.
Oh, yeah,
Dante, dude, Dante, I didn't know if I wanted to do this or not, but I'll save it for it. Let's go to Seth. Dante, we're so fired up to have you. What's been your favorite part of the offseason so far?
I just say, like, being able to see my family, like, for those first, 2 months or however long it was after I got drafted and been out here, I didn't get to see them in, over the past few weeks. My family and friends have been coming to see me, right now. My mom and all my siblings out here right now. So that's a great feeling just to be able to see them before I have to lock in and really get to focus on everything.
I got one more question for you, and then we'll do 2 more, and then I'll let you go, I promise. Which game are you looking forward to most on the Raiders' schedule? Which one do you have circled?
For me, the Texans.
Okay. I'll tell you this right now. You're going to really resonate well because my normal producer on this show, his name's Chugs. He's a Texans guy, and he does a lot of stuff for Texans around here. Why Houston? Just because?
That was my favorite team growing up.
Okay. Is there a certain player?
DeAndre Hopkins. And Deshaun Watson.
I respect that. Yeah, I mean, DeAndre Hopkins is probably one of the greatest of all time to ever get it done, to ever do it. I got one last final question for you. You seem like such a good teammate, been hyping up a lot of people Is there somebody that maybe, we call them sleeper candidates, somebody that's maybe not a household name that you think could be a household name by the end of the season? Just like somebody that, you know what, I want to put this guy on Raider Nation's radar because he deserves it. Offense or defense?
DCam.
DCam?
Yeah, for sure.
DeCamerion Richardson. Did you go up against him? He played in the SEC. He was...
Nah, he was... I didn't get to go against him.
Okay.
I think he was gone before I got there.
I got you. Well, how about this, man? I want all y'all that are tuned in right now to spam TY down below thanking Dante Thornton Jr. And I'm excited to be able to give away a signed jersey. We're going to do that a little bit later on today's show. But Dante, do you have any final words for the nation? Co-Vutter, are we going to get that touchdown celebration?
Potentially, man. Y'all potentially might get that touchdown celebration. I don't know when. It ain't going to be the first one for sure. I can tell you that. It won't be the first one.
I'll tell you this right now. Not that I would be disappointed that would be your first touchdown celebration, but I'll hope. How about this? If it's your 10th this year, we'll make it your 10th. If you can lock it in, if you score 10 touchdowns this year, you're doing the utter. Deal? All right, I respect it. Seriously, dude, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join this YouTube channel. We had over 1,000 people tuned in today in the middle of July, which is a beautiful thing. When we go live on Raiders game days, we have hundreds of thousands people tuned in, and you pulling up today, I think, is going to show the nation that, you know, you're rocking with the silver and black. We're a passionate fan base. You're a passionate human being, and I'm excited that we're going to be able to donate some money to Driven Throughout the Journey. Actually, if you want to speak on that real quick before you head out of here, I think that's probably a great thing to do.
First, I want to say thank everybody that made the donations today that go to my foundation. But just for me, I started this foundation my junior year in college. Well, I started it before that, but I really started to add money until my junior year of college. That's when NIL started. And basically, for me, it was just to be able to give back to the community. I'm very big on being able to give back because I know, like, coming from Baltimore is a rough city, and there's a lot of kids that grew up without a lot of positive role models and positive male role models in their household. So with me knowing that I made it out of that environment and can be able to show these kids that there's a way out of it and be that positive influence for them, I just want to be able to do that, and that's why I started this foundation.
I think for a young man to be able to do that, recognize that, I think that's huge leaps and bounds because at the end of the day, yes, we want to win football games, but if there's one thing Al Davis always stood up for, it's, you know, I want good people that wear that shield, and I want people that wear this Raiders jersey and wear it loud and proud and be a good football player, but be an even better human being off the field. And in the short interactions that we've had this offseason, I'm very confident that you're going to be that type of guy. Dante, thank you so much for joining the Raiders Report. Greatly appreciate it. And I've been talking to Jacob. When I get in Vegas, we're going to link up, and we're going to go out and we're going to have some fun.
For sure.
Bet. All right, bro. Appreciate you so much. Dante Thornton Jr., everyone. Peace out. Dude, I'll tell you this, man. I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of really cool Raiders players, like wide receivers like Tyrell Williams, Tommy Millott. You know, we've had a lot of cool interviews on the show. Jermaine Illuminor, Jonathan Hankins. That was probably one of my favorite ones because, you know, when you get to sit back and, you know, you fall in love with the player that he is, but then when you actually start to learn the human being that he is on the other side, it's kind of really cool, and I think it's one of the things that I love about doing this YouTube channel, right? Like, y'all get to know Chugs and I because you see us, you listen to us every single day. Now being able to hear that, listen to that, I hope that there's some kid out there, hope that there's an adult out there that maybe you weren't a Dante Thornton Jr. fan in the past, but I hope that if you get the opportunity to get his jersey, you do it. Which, actually, speaking of jersey, if y'all want a chance to get a signed Dante Thornton Jr. jersey, you got to send me a Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365. It is a $10 Venmo. We're going to do a duck race at the very, very end of today's show. If 50 people join this duck race, we're going to be able to donate $500 to Driven Throughout the Journey Foundation. At the end of the day, Raider fans, if you believe that this is a family, and if you think it's family, spam me down below. I'm going to give some shout-outs here on today's show. I don't give a shit what anybody says. If you're family, you support each other, and I hope that people get an opportunity to support Dante Thornton Jr., because I'll tell you this, I'm going to put some extra ducks in this race. We're going to jack up these numbers here a little bit, and we're going to be able to give away a signed Dante Thornton Jr. jersey. Really excited about it. So let's give some shout-outs here to some peeps that are rocking with me right now. I see Zalesbo, Just so you know, Zalesbo, it's Thursday. I just wanted to tell you that. Jeremy Cole, Seth, what is up? What is up? Michael Sampson, Def Halo, Tommy, Raider Tone, I see you down there. ED, amazing. Appreciate each and every one of y'all for tuning in to today's show. Now, here's the thing. I know that a lot of y'all have already sent in some super chats. I already know a lot of y'all have used hashtag Raiders. We are going to be doing a mailbag, and that's going to be coming up here in, let's say, like 15 minutes or so. I want to be able to give you guys some opportunities to get some questions, some comments on, and I'm going to go through, I'm going to answer them like I usually do, and then at the very, very end of today's program, I am going to simply just do a duck race. Winner of that duck race gets a signed Dante Thornton Jr. jersey, and then all the other money that we raise is going to be donated to Driven Throughout the Journey Foundation. Let's see how many people are getting in the duck race as it stands right now, and I'm going to tell you this, it's quite a bit of people. We got Ray Aguirre, you, sir, are in. Patrick Roche, I got you in. Justin Sterling, I got you. Jonathan Mad, you in. Fabian Moreno, the Night Devil, oh boy, in. I see Pete Castan, gotcha. Gary Backus, you in. Richard Black, you in. Blaine Craig, I gotcha. Rafael Murillo, you're in. Also, if you do not hear me call your name, make sure you yell at me since this is going to charity. Brian Baca, you're in. Trivan is in. And Trivan said, Mitch, I don't want just one duck. I don't want just 2 ducks. Hell, I don't want just 3 ducks. I'm not ducking around. I want 4 ducks. 1. I got your duck as well. So as it stands right now, we have risen $160 for the Driven Throughout the Journey Foundation. And 1 out of the 16 people right now, as it stands, will go home with a signed Dante Thornton Jr. jersey. Motorcycle Prophet, welcome to the Raiders. Motorcycle Prophet, I know this one was for Donte, and I do want to make this very clear. I apologize for not being able to get everybody's questions, everybody's super chat up on the screen. But one of the things that I always try to do, I'm a very transparent person. I try to learn from my past interviews. And I would say the number one thing that the nation, that people who I talk to, that always watch the show told me of, hey, if you got more questions up on screen, we would appreciate that. So because, this wasn't a question, it's one of the reasons why we did it. I also tried not to give as much of my opinion. That way we had more of Dante's time, because I also knew that he was, watching his buddy at basketball. So I don't want to take away from that too much. Cove Utter, because I didn't get the opportunity to, could you also go back to the Tri-Van one? Cove Utter! Bang! Though, I'll tell you this. If this freaking guy scores 10 touchdowns this season and he breaks out the Cove Utter touchdown celebration, I'm going to lose my flipping shit. I might do a milk boot. F it. I'm going to do a milk boot. If Dante Thornton Jr. scores 10 touchdowns and he breaks out the Cove Utter touchdown celebration, I'm doing a flipping milk boot. 2% skim milk. Whole milk, I don't give a shit. Also, Trivan! Bang! What up, Trivan? Appreciate you tuning into the show. And if you are just tuning in for the first time, we did just interview Dante Thornton Jr. And if I just blew out your speakers, that's on me. Let's go to Sean. Dante, welcome to the nation. The Night Devil. What does your diet look like when you're in season? And how will that change now in the NFL? Fabian, I'm sorry that I didn't get this one up there. Hang on, I got a burp. Nope, I'm good. Because Chugs is out today, we've been using a few little different producers here. My guy Jack, he does a lot of our baseball stuff, some Red Sox. Also, we have a new guy in the building. His name is Xavier, though. He's not even 21 yet, so I can't even bring him up on screen. But if Chugs would have been here, Fabian, and if I would have seen it right away, we would have got you up on screen. So I just want to tell you, that's on me since you've been such a legend this entire offseason. Jersey boy, Dante about to put the league on notice. 1,000-yard season incoming. There would nothing. I mean, I want Dante to be the best that he possibly can. Being honest with you, 1,000 receiving yards for him probably means something happened to Brock, Jacoby, maybe even somebody like Trey Tucker. But I loved hearing that Donte literally said that, like, Trey Tucker's his guy because, some people might look at that, and Trey Tucker's probably a dude that was sitting there on draft night when Don'te Thornton Jr. was drafted, like, shit, they might have drafted this guy to take my job. I think it just goes to show the compete mindset, the friendships that these guys are building, and maybe it's one of the reasons why you're seeing Trey Tucker and Donte work a lot on that outside together. 1,000 yards, though? Bro, I'll tell you what, it make me happy. Though at this point, I care more about the touchdowns. I'm not going to lie. What up, Boo-hoo? How was it playing underneath Chip Kelly? Boo-hoo, that's on me. You can cry about it. Sean, Donte, who are your Mount Rushmore of Raiders receivers all time, not named Tim Brown or Jerry Rice? How about this? I'll ask this one of the nation. Sean, again, I'm sorry I couldn't get this one up on screen. Who is y'all's Mount Rushmore of Raiders receivers all time, not named Tim Brown or Jerry Rice? So I think to make it simpler, not named Tim Brown, not named Jerry Rice. Who do y'all think is the best Raiders receivers of all time? There's a lot of names that you go with, right? I mean, I think you have to throw out names. This one might hurt some of y'all. If we're talking about single season, one of the best single seasons is Davante Adams. And I know that that's recent, but facts are facts. His numbers that 1 year were very impressive. Fred Bilenikoff absolutely has to be somebody that we throw out there and mention. I think Cliff Branch has to be another speedster that you have to sit up there and mention, where I'm not going to lie, when I asked Donte and Raider Ron, appreciate the question, of like who's an old school Raiders player that kind of resembles your game. Not that, because Cliff was a lot smaller than Donte, though most guys are smaller than Donte. I was wondering if that's where the route he was going to go just because of how much of a speed demon he truly is. James Jett, I think, is an interesting one. RG said Bo Jackson. Apparently, Bo Jackson was just such a good running back that he's also a wide receiver, right? Crabtree's an interesting one from Big Daddy Los. Jerry Porter's a hell of a name. Steven Gutierrez, AB. Get out of here, Gutierrez. Ventrak, pineapple on pizza, yes or no? I love pineapple on pizza. I'm the type of person where I'll eat almost any kind of pizza. I'm going to be honest with you. But a pineapple on a pizza on a hot summer day, dude, I think it's amazing. Now, if you told me, could I also get like ham or pepperoni on that pizza and not just pineapple? Yeah, like I want some bacon, I want something else on it. I am all aboard the pineapple on pizza train. Rock and Jock, what's going on, dude? Once a Raider, always a Raider. Have a great career. And here's the other thing, and I know that some of these super chats did not get up on screen when Donte was here. I don't know if he's going to do it, but I've had a lot of good communications with Donte. I've had a lot of good communications with his agent, and maybe he goes back and he watches this. The bottom line is, I think the fact that y'all showed up and pulled up for Donte the way that you did, he's going to remember that, and he's going to appreciate that, no doubt about it. Xavier Foster, odd question. Have J.J. Pegues and Lockie Tassi raced? I don't know if you were asking this one to him. It would be a fun race, no doubt about it. Tassi, though, is actually much bigger than Pegues. When I say much bigger in terms of football, he's probably 40 pounds heavier than him. But I would say Pegues would win that race. J.J. Pegues is low-key way better of an athlete than what people give him credit for. But then again, so is Lockie Tassi. What up, Jarrett Watson? You're next up here on the Raiders Report. I hope by the end of the year, everyone considers Dont'e Thornton number one receiver. Wow. I mean, if Donte ends up being that number one receiver, it's obviously not a bad thing. There's also a joke in here where I was talking to somebody the other day because I was literally having this conversation. I think I was actually having it live here on this show where I was like, if Donte turns out to be this guy, I think the Raiders should just trade with all their first-round picks and only pick up fourth-rounders because Maxx Crosby and Thornton, right? But obviously that's not going to happen. If he ends up being this player that I'm hoping that he can be, and again, like when you're mentioned in the same breath as Calvin Johnson, DK Metcalf, I mean, depending on certain people that do combine statistics, Randy Moss is even in that equation, right, for being 6'4" to run that type of speed. He's going to be an elite athlete. He's going to be an elite decoy, and I don't want to call him a decoy because I think he's way more than a decoy, but my mind of calling him an elite decoy is in plays that are designed for Jeanty, plays that are designed for Jacoby, plays that are designed for Brock Bowers. You got to respect this speed that Thornton has on the outside, and he's going to be a decoy on certain plays, and I think he's going to be an elite decoy. He's also going to be a hell of a receiver, too. Dan, super chat coming in here. Dan, thank you so much for supporting this show because, again, Every super chat, every like, every comment, every subscribe continues to help the Raiders Report grow, because my ultimate goal is I want to be able to provide the best content in the world for Raider Nation. And the fact that we were able to do a player interview today in the middle of the July, it's a huge, huge pat on the back to guys like Fabian Moreno, Patrick Roche, to a guy like Venthrak, to people like Zalesbo, Ronaldo, Seth, Sean Irish, David Zahn, R.I.P. to the great Brandon Jasper. I mean, it takes an entire nation to be able to get a YouTube channel to where we have. And if we keep growing, dude, we're going to be able to do more and more cool shit. I hope that you guys realize that. So before we get into the mailbag, one more time here, $10 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365. This is how you're going to enter to get into a duck race. We're not giving away any money today. No money. Deal with it. What we are going to give away, though, is a Dante Thornton Jr. signed jersey. And all proceeds that we raise today are going to be going to Dante's foundation, which is Driven Throughout the Journey Foundation. So with that being said, if you want to get your questions or comments here on the show, I want you to use hashtag Raiders, or you can super chat to skip the line. I'm going to get some people in the duck race. I need a sip of water. Can you give a few shout-outs to some people that are spamming? Let's give some shout-outs again to number 10 down below. My guy, Jack Lauderay, is going to be giving some shout-outs here on today's show. And then while he's giving shout-outs, I will also in the background just let people know who is getting in this duck race and who is already in the duck race. I also got to be able to tip my cap to Jack, because he's rocking the right hat today. And I freaking love it. Actually, he's got the whole getup today. Rocking some silver and black. Jack Lauderay. If you want to also keep me up on screen, you can. Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. I didn't know what you were changing. Zalesbo. Oh, no, you're good. Bayou. What is up, Bayou Raider? And I also saw, again, somebody sent in a message. Richard Gonzalez. I heard that he had a tough day at dialysis. I hope that, the shout-out from Dante was put a smile on your face. And I hope when anybody watches this show, the number one thing that I try to do each and every day that I turn on this YouTube channel is put smiles on faces. Don't get me wrong. I'm not afraid to be a jokester. I'm not afraid to chug some beers. I'm not afraid to wear stupid costumes on Thursday Night Football. I also, though, do all that stuff because confidently, I believe that I know the Las Vegas Raiders better than anybody on this planet, and I feel like that I can talk Raiders better than anybody else on that planet. So just always keep that in mind. Jack, can you give some shout-outs to some of the people that are spamming 10 down below, and I'm going to get some names in this duck race.
All right, here we go. Raider Nation, let's go. I see Big Daddy Los, Jeremy Cole, Adam Sweeney. Get them going. Get those 10s in the chat. Let's see them. I see J-Ray.
Zach Martin, I got you in, my man.
I see Gary.
Dungeon Fitness, you in?
I see Bird John. I see Seth.
Elijah Williams, I got you. Joshua Martinez, I got you.
Big Daddy Los, James McGuire.
Matt Fluhey, I see that you have 2 entries. I got you in.
I see G-Mode.
Corey Westbury, David Zahn. We got Stanley Holmes.
I see Ricky Milton, Joshua Martinez, Rolando.
Richard Kelly. And if I cough from time to time, please excuse me. I've been battling something the last few days. That's why Chugs isn't here today. I got him sick. I really do feel bad about it. I'm not going to lie. But I've just been battling some allergies, a cold. I don't know what it is, but I really tried to power through there with that Donte interview. Who's all shouting them out? You know what, Jack? Let's get a question up on screen for the nation to answer. And it can be anything. Let's go with that one. Over or under 20 yards per catch for Dante Thornton Jr. this season. Here's my question to you, Jack. Now, I'll be very transparent with all y'all, guys. Jack is he's a Boston fan. The Raiders happen to play the New England Patriots week 1. Besides Dante Thornton Jr., because that's the guy that we talked about a bunch today, who on the Raiders are you most concerned about going up against week 1?
Does it have to be a wide receiver? Like, does that...
It can be anyone.
Anyone? Oh, Ashton Jeanty.
Jeanty? Tell me why.
I mean, he's just an absolute bowling ball. I think the Patriots' defense is going to be pretty good this year.
Taino, I got you, bro.
But I think that Jeanty is such a daunting presence on the field that he's just going to be so hard to bring down. So, I mean, I think that's going to be a popular answer because he's just this incredibly imposing figure on the field that runs people over and also runs fast. So, Jeanty's my answer. I think that's going to be a very interesting game.
I actually agree with that statement. I'm really curious to see how the Raiders scheme up to go up against Robert Spillane, who by all accounts, from what it sounds like, has been having a unbelievable camp. So
he's going to be one of the starting linebackers.
I mean, he might be the best linebacker on that team.
I don't think you're wrong.
Carlos, I got you. Daniel Rue, I got you. Gary Backus, Michael Steves, Atish Nar, Drew, Richard Kelly, Stanley Holmes, Corey Westbury, Daniel Zahn. I see Melinda Moreno. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Soldier Man, I got you. And then Christopher Davis.
Thank you, Pedro.
I got you in as well. So here's a really cool thing. Right now, as it stands, the Raiders report. Oh, wow, Melinda, I just realized that you got a bunch of entries. Hang on here, Melinda. That's on me.
Let's go, Melinda.
Right now, as it stands, the Raiders report has raised, and this is really, really cool to be able to say, right now, as it stands, we have raised $450 for the Driven Throughout the Journey Foundation, and I just refreshed my phone, and holy shit, we got a lot more. So Give me 1 second here. I'm going to take my time, and I mean this in the most respectful way possible because we are doing something today for a Raiders player, because we are doing something today for charity. I'm just going to make sure, double check, dot my I's, cross my T's to make sure everybody is getting it in. But in the meantime, while I am getting some of these people in, if anybody wants to start using that hashtag Raiders or Super Chat, get those questions, comments up on the show. I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. And once I finally get everybody in, we will get into that Raiders Report mailbag. So the mailbag here is probably going to be starting in a minute or two. While we are waiting for me to get all these names in, we could sit up here and talk Raiders. We can obviously do that. Or Jack is a big movie guy. And I know Venthrak was asking some questions about some movies. So while I'm getting some of these names in, if anybody has any baseball, any type of movie questions, let's get those fired away right now. And who knows, maybe Jack could even give you a little bit of a shout out. I'm still putting names in though for this duck race. Because again, I want to make sure that I get all the names, and y'all know I suck at reading.
Let me see. We got some movie takes. We got some baseball takes. I'm happy to say them.
Husker Raider, you're in. Nico Laz, I gotcha. Shane Oshman, I got you twice. Good stuff.
All-time movie quotes. My favorite...
Seth Milbone.
My favorite movie quote is probably not an all-timer, but it's when, in Revenge of the Sith, when Obi-Wan confronts Anakin, and Anakin goes on his rant saying he's brought peace, justice, safety, security, whatever he says, to your new empire. And Obi-Wan goes, "Your new empire." That's like my favorite line delivery of all time. I absolutely love it. That's my favorite. I saw one. Who do you have? Well, he's asking Mitch, who do you have winning the home run derby? I can also give my take on that as well.
I couldn't tell you a single person in the home run derby.
Not off the top of my head. I'd have to look.
I know last year, actually, we had the opportunity to go watch the home run derby, which was really cool. Who won it last year? The guy from the Royals, right? Witt?
No, Witt almost won. It was Teoscar Hernandez.
Oh.
The participants are Ronald Acuna Jr.
Brave, nope.
Cal Raleigh.
Okay.
James Wood.
Yep. Woody, though?
What?
You said James Wood. I said Woody, though?
What?
Woody.
I don't know what you're saying.
You said James Wood. I'm asking, would he?
Oh, you're funny. You're funny. Okay, carrying on. I know Brent Rooker announced he was today. I feel like there was another person that announced.
I don't know.
Brent Rooker announced today.
Rick Kelly. You want the
Junior
truth?
Caminero.
You can't handle the truth. That's a great line.
I would.
Nico Laz's is I just went from 6 to midnight. I already know that one.
There they are. Byron Buxton, I think. Did he get hurt, though?
I have no idea.
Byron
I got
Buxton
a few
hurt.
more people that I just got in the duck race. Nico Husker, Shane Oshman, Kevin Chow is how I put it, Seth Milbourne, Michael Tolbert, Matt Sitter, Joshua Martinez, Soldier Man twice, Mark Call. I see Richard Ramirez. So that means right now, as a fan base, and this is really, really cool to be able to say, we have officially raised $580 for the Driven Throughout the Journey Foundation.
That's awesome.
I could not agree with you more, though not luckily, this is why I got to make sure. Husker, you're in twice, so $590.
Wow.
$590 right now we have raised for the Driven Throughout the Journey Foundation, which I think is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And again, man, like I think when we have the opportunity to do some of the stuff that we do on this show, I think if, we show Donte and we show a lot of the Raiders players, like, hey, like this is what the Raiders Report does, they're going to be more inclined to come on here and get it going. Mitch, did I get in for 3 from Rick Kelly? Rick, I saw your comment. Let me see. Rick Kelly.
I actually had a comment from Rick Kelly, too, which I'm going to answer in a second.
Go for it.
He said, Jack, is this Red Sox resurgence going to hold? You're going to know in the next week. They start a series tonight against the Tampa Bay Rays. You're going to know. I think if they can split against Tampa Bay, maybe win 3 against Tampa Bay, you feel pretty good about yourself. But coming out of the All-Star break, you face the Cubs at Wrigley, you face the Phillies in Philadelphia, and then you face the Dodgers. And then I think you face the Astros after that. And then it's the trade deadline.
Wild.
So
wild.
The Red Sox have just faced 2 of the worst teams in baseball, the Nationals and the Rockies. They swept both of them. And now they're going to go into an absolute gauntlet that's going to determine how the rest of their season's going to go. So will it hold up? I'm optimistic. I'm going to say yes. Alex Bregman's going to be back this week. And the potential of Tanner Houck coming back for your rotation this week as well. There's a lot of decisions that are going to have to be made.
You're saying guys I've never heard of.
Well, Alex Bregman.
Yeah, him.
Yeah, Alex Bregman will be back this week. Alex Cora literally said in his press conference earlier he's going to play this weekend. So
see, I think real recognize real, and Jack does a video every single Red Sox game. Every single game he does a video, and I think you got to be able to tip your cap when tips are due. Rick Kelly, I'll say this: you are in 3 times. I missed your first one that you sent in. And while Jack was going through his baseball rants, I've been able to double confirm that every person, I swear to you, every person that is sent in 10, you are in this duck race, which means right now we have raised $610 for the Driven Throughout the Journey Foundation. Beautiful, beautiful stuff there. So let's get a little bit back on track.
I will say one thing real quick. I apologize.
Go for it.
We're going to be live for the MLB draft on Sunday night on our main Chat Sports channel. It'll be me. So come over and hang out. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a lot of fun.
So Lesbo, did you just send one in? Because the latest one that I just got was from Mark Zylstra, and that's 2 of them for Mark Zylstra. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go through. I'm going to answer some questions on our Raiders Report mailbag right now. Give me like 12, 15 minutes. I'm going to chop it up with all y'all. I'm going to answer some questions. So please, super chat to skip the line. Hashtag Raiders to get some of those questions on the show. And then after that, we will do the duck race, and somebody is going to get a signed Dante Thornton Jr. jersey. But no matter what, even if you don't win, I hope that you pat yourself on the back a little bit, because realize what we're doing today, I think it's pretty cool, man. Anytime you're able to raise some money for charity, I think personally it is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So Slapshot has the best quote that can't be said. I don't know what quote that is then. I'm a little bit nervous about it. I've never even heard of that movie. Jack says he hasn't seen it. All right, y'all. You ready? Y'all ready to get in this mailbag? I just saw the question from Mark. How much is to get in the jersey raffle? $10 Venmo. $10 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365. If you're asking if I got your multiple entries, the answer is yes. I promise you, I went through, I double-checked, triple-checked everybody that has sent in something on Venmo. I promise you I got you. Taino, I know I got you. I promise you. You ready? Jack says he's ready to go. Y'all ready to get this thing going? Mitch trying to get people into the mail bag. Zon, shut. Zip it, Zon. I am trying to get some people in the mailbag. Sent you an Insta. Yeah, Zon. Yeah. Big Daddy says let's go. Yoda Jenkins says let's go. Well, let's get this mailbag started here right now on the Raiders Report. Raider Nation, we are doing a mailbag here on today's show, and if you want to be able to get your questions, your comments on these mailbags going forward, you gotta be subscribed. So hit that big old red button underneath this video that says subscribe. Turn on those notifications. And when I go live every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, make sure you're pulling up. Make sure you're joining the #1 most watched Raiders show in the entire world. So today we're going to be answering questions, and all the questions from today's mailbag are from July 10th, 2025, the same day that we interviewed Raiders rookie wide receiver Dante Thornton Jr. If you did not see that interview, please go check it out. It's going to be on the channel. Now, all these questions are from loyal subscribers, and I always want to give subscribers the opportunity to get their questions on, because I don't know if y'all realize this. If you're not subscribed, you can't comment on this channel. Let's go to all the way from Deutschland. Steven Stockgotten. Before trade deadline, do we trade a Wilkins replacement if he is out for the season? I think you're asking, do we trade a Wilkins replacement if he's out for the season? Are you asking, like, do we trade Christian Wilkins if he's out for the season? Or a Christian Wilkins replacement to me is like, do we trade a Lecky Fotu? Do we trade a John Ulalu? Do we trade a Zachary Carter? Because they would replace Wilkins. If we trade for a Christian Wilkins replacement, maybe that's kind of the route you're going. If it was up to me right now, I would say you could go out and you could sign a Jadeveon Clowney. You could go out and you could potentially sign a Quentin Jefferson. I did a video earlier this month about some potential Christian Wilkins replacements. I'll also say this. I had a conversation with Ravens defensive tackle John Jenkins a few days ago, and he told me he really thought he was going to be a Raider. I'm not saying he's not happy in Baltimore, but to me, if you're trying to find a easy replacement, that's somebody that knows this team, that's somebody that knows the coaching staff, Patrick Graham, Rob Leonard, I think you give up a 7th-round pick for John Jenkins. I'd be on board for that. Let's go to Seth. How do you feel about D-Cam after Dante's interview, hearing his thoughts on the Camryon, put a smile on my face? I'll tell you this right now. If you have this exact same thought by Seth, I want you to hit that like button right now, because I expected Donte to speak highly of guys like Trey Tucker, Ashton Jeanty, Geno Smith, Brock Bowers. Like, those are the no-doubters. The fact that he was showing as much love as he was to the Camryon Richardson does make me really excited, because I would say right now, if you ask most Raider fans, what do they think of Richardson? There's a big unknown factor. I know he's long. I know he's lanky. I know he's a hell of an athlete. And quite frankly, he kind of fits exactly what Pete Carroll's looking for. But I think he's been buried a little bit on the depth chart behind Stokes, behind somebody like Jacorian Bennett, behind somebody like Darian Porter. If it doesn't put a smile on your face that Dante's hyping up the Camryon Richardson, you might want to check your pulse. But Seth, I completely agree with you, bro. Let's go to A1 in LV. Why haven't the Raiders extended Colton or Jacoby? Oh, man, how much time do we got? I could do a whole show on this. I'll say, to me right now, I don't know if it's a need, and I say that because I don't know if it's a need for the Raiders. If it was up to me, I don't understand how you're an organization and you trade for a quarterback like Geno Smith and you extend a quarterback like Geno Smith, but you're not going to extend his top wide receiver and his blindside blocker in Colton Miller. I don't have a great answer for you. Maybe it's they're confident in Charles Grant. Maybe it's they're confident in Trey Tucker, Dante Thornton Jr., and also Jack Besh. Maybe it's that they view those players as, you know what, they still have 1 year left on their deal, and since they were showing up to non-mandatory camp, why do we have to extend them? Maybe those two players, I know they say they want to be Raiders, but maybe they want to test the open market next year. Like, that's the other part of this equation that I don't know if we're hearing about as much. I haven't talked to Jacoby's representatives. I've only talked to Colton and his representatives, and I know Colton does actually want to be a Raider for life, but there's a lot of unknowns. If it was up to me, I would have extended those guys. Let's go to Swish. What up, Swish? Hang on, I got to get a sip of water here. Excuse me, I've been battling a little sickness. Would you trade... Can you actually make this trade for me real quick, Jack? Would you trade Jacoby and a third for Terry McLaurin? Before I answer that was wildly quick. Before I answer this, if you guys want to go check out a video that I did, it's literally like all around Terry McLaurin, and it's all around why I don't think it's totally impossible because, again, connections matter, and because Pete Carroll has such a good relationship with Dan Quinn from all their time together, like maybe it could happen. But if you're asking me this, Raiders get McLaurin, the Commanders get Jacoby and a third-round pick. Before I answer this one, because if you watched the last video that I was talking about, you probably know my answer to this already. I'm going to make this the pinned comment because I think this is a great, great question to ask the nation. Who wins this trade? The Las Vegas Raiders. If you think it's them, I want you to type LV. If you think it's the Washington Commanders, I want you to type WAS. My answer is going to be coming up here after this YouTube ad break. I would say both sides can say that they won that deal, and hear me out. Would I do that trade? Yes, I would. Would I also want to give up Jacoby? No, I would not. The reason why I think that the Raiders would consider this is because Terry McLaurin is a number one receiver. And if this is what the asking price would be, I actually think it's actually a discount compared to what the Commanders would actually ask for. I think it would be Jacoby Myers in a second-round pick if I'm being 100% honest with you. So I would do that trade. But I could sit up here and go, if the Raiders do this trade, you got to pay Terry McLaurin $30 million. So if you're the Raiders, if you could either pay Jacoby Myers, let's say $18 million a year, or Terry McLaurin $30 million, I don't think that the trade's ultimately going to happen simply because Washington has Jaden Daniels, and after the year that they just had, why the hell wouldn't you not extend Terry McLaurin? But if you're the Commanders and you don't want to spend that much money on a receiver, but you still want a reliable guy for your young quarterback, Jacoby can be that dude. So I could sit up here and go, I think both teams potentially win this deal, but I would do this trade if I was the Raiders because I'm a lot bigger of a fan than Terry McLaurin than maybe some other people out there. Let's go to Jeremy Cole. You're next up here on the show. Which game are you looking forward to the most? I mean, you're always going to look forward to the Chiefs games, the Broncos games, the Chargers games. I'm looking forward to week one, and maybe that's a stupid answer because, it is week one, but at this point, I'm just itching to see a Raiders football game. Hell, that preseason game against the Seattle Seahawks is looking pretty damn good right now. But out of all the games from top to bottom, and I'm just saying this more from a selfish standpoint, my wife, she's a Cowboys fan. Monday Night Football at Allegiant Stadium. Chugs and I are going to try to take our wives out there to that game. And I can't wait for that one, man. It's going to be an absolute movie. And hopefully it's a movie that I want to see the ending to. And hopefully it's not like the Madden Sim ending that we had in our Raiders-Cowboys game. So I do have an awesome sponsor here on today's mailbag. And I got to give a shout-out to Chubby's. Chubby's has always been down to change the game. And I'm somebody that, if y'all think that Chugs and I are cool people, I think y'all would love the people that own Chubby's because I am somebody that always wants to be able to support people that I believe in and companies that I believe in. And Chubby's is absolutely positively one of those companies. So summertime is here, which means it's officially time to let the dogs out. And by dogs, we mean your legs. If your pups have been stuck in jeans or sweats for the last few months, set them free with the Line Swim collection from Chubby's. When the sun goes down and you're heading from the beach to dinner, swap into a pair of Everywhere shorts. So not only do I love what they offer from swim trunks, and you can wear those swim trunks from poolside, lakeside, and oceanside, but the Everywhere shorts, I think that's where they really changed the game. They fit right. They feel right. They go with everything, and after wearing them once, you're going to find yourself wondering, why the heck do I even own other shorts? And let's be real. No ad read is complete without a shout out to that classic Line swim trunk. They took everything annoying about old school swimsuits, like scratchy mesh liner, replaced it with a soft, supportive boxer brief liner that keeps you dry comfortable, and chafe-free, with a quick, dry fabric, 4-way stretch, and great prints that bring the heat. Whether you're jumping into the ocean, which I plan on doing very soon on my honeymoon, napping on the beach chair, plan on doing on my honeymoon, or something ending up on a rooftop bar, these trunks have your back and your thighs. Whether you're suiting up for cannonballs, cookouts, or casual Fridays, sorry, Zalesbo, I know it's Thursday, Chubby's has you covered. For a limited time, Chubby's is giving our listeners 20% off your order with our code chat at chubbyshorts.com. That's code chat at chubbyshorts.com. Support our show. Tell them that we sent you. Summer's here. Dress like it with Chubby's. And if I was saying Chubby's a lot and you got a little bit excited, I know. You can always go down to the comments, go down in the description of today's show, and I'm going to have all those links there for you. Shout out to Chubby's for sponsoring the Raiders Report. Let's go to my man, King Shav. Donte will be the best NFL player ever. I hope so, man. I mean, if you're telling me Dante Thornton Jr. is going to be, let's just say he's the best wide receiver ever. If you told me right now I can get a Jerry Rice, a Randy Moss, Tim Brown type of guy, I'm in for it. I'm in, and we're all in. Let's go to Armin. Is Donte starting over Besh? Right now, as it stands, Thornton was working with the ones with Trey Tucker over Besh. Now, I don't know if that's going to be the plan, and I say that because far too often we get excited about what happens in the offseason, but I know a lot of times coaches just try to see what they have in the offseason, and I don't want to get caught by, I'll call it the Dylan Laube bug, because I know last year the Raiders were really trying to use Laube in a multitude of different ways, and I heard that from players, I heard that from coaches, I heard that from sources that I have, and I think they were just trying to see what they have in them. I'm not saying that that's what they're doing right now to Thornton. I am still very confident in Jack Besh because I think to me, he might not have the ceiling that Thornton does, but he might have a safer floor, and the Raiders might just be a little bit more confident what they have in Besh in terms of like knowing exactly what they have. So there is a part of me that wonders, like, are they just testing out Thornton to see what they have this offseason? Because when you see a guy that's 6'5", that runs a 4.3, that's in the same breath as a DK Metcalf and a Calvin Johnson, I don't know how you don't look at that car and go, let me test drive that car here a little bit. And I think that that's what this organization is trying to do. They're just trying to test drive Dante Thornton Jr. for a little bit. Let's go to G. Sosa. All my bitches love G. Sosa over here. Mitch, do you think that the worst trade the Raiders have made in recent memory, I know it ain't original, but I think it's Khalil Mack. Considering, here's the problem with the Khalil Mack trade. I actually don't fully disagree with the trade at the time that they did it because of how many draft picks that they were able to get back. The problem is they pissed away all those draft picks. Now, if it was up to me, I would have kept Khalil Mack because he was doing a great job on defense. He was one of the best defensive players in the league. And, you know, when you bring in a brand new head coach like John Gruden, 10-year, $100 million guaranteed contract, again, fully guaranteed, when you bring in a guy like that, you know, you kind of want to think of as a player, hey, if I play great, this is going to be an organization that rewards me for playing great and not trading me away, which is something that I didn't like that they did. But, you know, the Randy Moss trade is going to be up there as another one that kind of kills me a little bit. Antonio Brown was a bad trade, no doubt about it. But, I mean, the Khalil Mack deal, because of how many busts this team drafted, that's why that one stings so much. You know what else stings? When I kick your ass in fantasy football. And if you're trying to lose and go down in fantasy football this upcoming year, I want you to join our Raiders Report Fantasy Football League. We're going to do a 12-team league. I might do a 14-team league. Fabian Moreno, Rebel Montana, which I realize now, Fabian, I got to spell your name right on that card. It's an A instead of an E if you could change that. They're already in the league. Whoever bangs the most in the month of July, which right now, at the time that I am making this video, the top banger is Cove Utter. And if Cove Utter is the guy that bangs the most in July, Cove, you're in. Also, every $5 super chat while I'm live, it's going to be a raffle ticket. Also, every $5 super thanks. A super thanks is basically like a super chat on videos that I'm not live on. I get it. People are busy. People can't always join the live program. So send in a $5 super thanks, and you're going to be entered in. Rebel Montana had only a few tickets, and he ended up getting in this bad boy. I'm going to be picking a winner July 31st to join our Fantasy Football League. I know y'all have been asking for it for years, and I'm excited to be able to kick some ass. Rebel, Fabian, you're going down. Let's go to Christian Tate. You're next up here on the Raiders Report. With Wirfs being injured, if we were to trade an offensive line guy to Tampa Bay, who would it be? First off, Christian, if you're watching this show live, I put out a video on Thursday. It kind of talked about who I personally would move on from. If you're watching this on a later date because you're watching the mailbag, I would say go check out the worst video that I did on Thursday. But to me, you got to bring up probably 3 players on the Raiders offensive line that you could entertain this idea around. And the only reason why I say that is because to me, the first guy that you're going to have to bring up is Thayer Munford. And Munford to me is the player where the Raiders have been using him in a few different ways. They had him over at left guard. They kind of brought him over, and he's kind of taken, I don't want to say he's taking the job of Jordan Meredith, but Meredith now has been working behind Jackson Powers-Johnson a lot. And because Munford's not part of this regime, final year of his contract, if he were to be, let's say, the odd man out of sorts, that could be a reason why you'd potentially move on from him. Dylan Parham is going to be another name that I at least bring up here, and I don't want to move on from Parham. He's a starter. But if the Bucs, let's just say, said, you know what? Also, I should mention this. Munford would be a better player than Charlie Heck, who right now is the backup for Tristan Wirfs. But if you're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and you go, I like some of our other players. Maybe they have another tackle that I don't know about. And they're like, well, we could put him at left tackle. We just need an extra player then at left guard, right guard, center, right tackle, because Parham can do all those different things. I think that would be intriguing. And then I'll go Jordan Meredith. And the reason why I'm going to bring up Jordan Meredith is because of the connection. And the connection that he has is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, their offensive line coach, his name is Kevin Carberry. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. And he was with Carberry in 2021 with the Los Angeles Rams. And kind of the things that I mentioned with Parham, if you just need somebody to be able to fill in at guard and just be another depth piece because maybe you already have a left guard, a center, or a right guard that you could fill in at left tackle, that you have more confidence over at Heck, those are just the 3 guys that I would throw out there if a trade actually were to go down. So let's play a game here. If you could pick one to trade, who would you trade? Now, I know Dylan Parham's the best player on this list, and you'd get the most for him in return. So let's play this game. Let's do it like this. Excuse me. You could pick to trade Thayer Munford. You're going to get a 7th-round pick in return. You could trade Dylan Parham. You're going to get a 5th-round pick in return. Or you can trade Jordan Meredith and get a 7th-round pick in return. Out of all those players that I just mentioned, who would you pick to trade? And you're about to get it with a YouTube ad break. While that ad is playing, scrolling down and answer that question. I'm about to answer it here in just a moment. The player that I would move on from in this scenario is going to be Thayer Munford. And I only say that because I would like the Raiders to be able to keep Dylan Parham, because I do think when you have somebody like him, you're able to add a lot of versatility and you're able to just keep the pieces moving on the offensive line. I would like to see Jordan Meredith stay on this team personally, because to me, he's somebody that's done a lot of the right things, and he looked really solid last season compared to Munford, who did struggle a little bit. But to me, I think it's going to be easier for the Raiders to keep Jordan Meredith year in and year out compared to a guy like Thayer Munford. But Meredith or Munford, I think is a coin flip either way. Let's go to Raider Nation 88. Who will be the biggest impact this season, PG or CK? All right, so Patrick Graham or Chip Kelly, as I'm guessing where you're going with this one. Who will be the biggest impact this season? I mean, I think you mean the bigger impact. I'm going to go with Chip Kelly. And I have a lot of confidence in Patrick Graham. And I'm hoping that this Raiders defense goes back to looking like that Raiders defense the final 8 games where it was Patrick Graham and Antonio Pierce. But, the issue with this team has been the offense, the quarterback play, the inability to run the football, horrific offensive line play. Luckily, we've had Brock Bowers and Jacoby Myers that have kept us afloat last season. But to me, you brought in Chip Kelly. And Kelly was making $2 million a year at Ohio State. You made him the highest paid coordinator in the NFL. You gave him $6 million. You gave him 3 times what he was making at Ohio State to come to Las Vegas. Why? Because you knew that your offense stunk. And you knew that you needed to jumpstart that offense to create a little bit of excitement in Las Vegas. So because of that, I think money talks. $6 million is more than $4 million. For that reason, Chip Kelly gets the nod. Let's go back to Stuttgart. Who do you think is our next kicker in the future if Carlson retires? So Carlson is entering the final year of his contract, and I don't know if it's going to be his final year. He does need to be able to go out there and prove himself. But who do I think our next kicker is? I have no idea. If you want my honest answer of who I hope our next kicker is, I hope the answer is Daniel Carlson. I hope Daniel Carlson this season comes out and looks the way that he did 2 or 3 years ago, where he was one of the better kickers in the NFL, because if that means we're sticking with him, that means he had a good season. And if we're sticking with him and he had a good season, I don't want to talk about the kicker. I don't want to talk about special teams, because when you're talking about special teams, it means it's a bad thing. When you're not talking about special teams, it's a good thing. Let's go to Jeff Rogers. You're next up here on the Raiders Report. Who will make the biggest improvement on offense and defense. Well, let's first talk about the offensive side of the football. And out of all the players, the guy that I think makes the biggest improvement this season on offense, I want to go with Trey Tucker, and I think Tucker's finally going to have a quarterback that fits his skill set. You could also throw out a name, maybe like a Michael Mayer could be thrown into that mix a little bit. On defense, let's go with defense. Let's go Tyree Wilson. And I'm just hoping that Wilson finally takes, that next step, and he turns out to be a hell of a player. Maybe somebody like Amari Gaynor. Hell, DeCamerion Richardson, he was getting a lot of hype. Those would be some of the names that I would at least throw out there of just being a big improvement going forward. So I know that I did not get to all y'all's questions, and I really am sorry about that. If anybody has any other questions or comments, reminder, you can always hit me up on IG or on Twitter at Mitchell Renz 365. All I say is this, though. My honeymoon is going to be this. Basically, the moment I leave work on Friday, my honeymoon has started. I'm off until basically July 20th. Don't worry. We've got videos for you every single day while I'm gone. But this might be the only time of the whole year where I might not be looking at my DMs. I'll get some opportunities. But if I do not get to your question, you can always hit up my guy, Jeremy Chugs, at Jeremy Chugs. Let's go to Carson. What up, Carson? Now, the mailbag is officially over, which means we're going to go through. I'm going to answer a few more questions here, and then we are going to get into the duck race. If you do not know what the duck race is today, it is a $10 Venmo for a chance to go home with a signed Dante Thornton Jr. jersey, and all of the proceeds that we raise today will be donated to the Driven Throughout the Journey Foundation, which was started by Dante Thornton, which the last time that I checked, the amount of money that we have been able to raise so far is $630. That is flipping awesome, man. Can you go back to that last super chat for me real quick, Jack, from Carson? Thank you, Carson. Mitch, I'm representing the nation in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Is that it? Toronto, Ontario, Canada. All right. So I couldn't enter the duck race, but still wanted to show my support to the channel anyway. Thanks for the incredible content. Carson, you're not the first person to tell me that Venmo doesn't exist in Canada, and I think it's really cool that you did this. So, Jack, could you do me a solid? Could you enter Carson in the Raiders Report Fantasy Football Raffle? Could we do 4 entries for him there? So, Carson, I appreciate that you did this, man. Typically, this would only be 2 raffle tickets to our fantasy football. I'm going to give you 4. I think Real recognized Real in the fact that you were able to say that. Again, dude, I'll tip my cap to you. Rock and Jock. Slapshot has the best quotes that can't be said. I'm going to have to look up what this Slapshot movie is. I don't know. I'll say, you're the movie guy. Have you ever even heard of it? Slapshot? All right, Zalesbo. Let me look at something here. Wait, when? 1977 is actually crazy. It's actually insane. All right, Zalesbo, I see it. Let me just refresh my phone here real quick. All right, y'all. I believe we are all caught up. One more super. That was from Zalesbo. Which Zalez, I'm going to be honest, Zalesbo. I'm not seeing what you're sending me. Yeah, but I'm not seeing it. Sorry, everyone. I just want to make sure Zalesbo gets in. Zalesbo, can you send me a photo of like what your Venmo name is? That way I just see it. Z-E-N-I-A. All right, I'll look for it, Zalesbo, but I'm going to be honest, I don't. Gotcha. Which I'm kind of kicking myself in the ass because it's a picture of you. Let me just double check here. I think I got you. All right, I'm just going to put you in as Zalesbo. I got you, Zalesbo. I got you. Carlos David. Yep. All right, cool. All right, let me get the final people in here for this duck race. And then we are going to run this bad boy. And somebody's going to go home with a Dante Thornton Jr. jersey. Pretty lit. All right, the last name that I got was Mark Zylstra, just so I can get back to where I need to be. All right, so I got Noah Suave. I got you in. Yoda Jenkins, I got you in. Richard Kelly, I got you in. Richard, I got you in another time. Then I see Angel Gonzalez in. Jim Brown in. Anthony Green, in. I got Edgar Flores in. Mo Shav in. Rustin Long in. Gabriel Sousa, hope I pronounced that one right, you in. So right now, as it stands, Edgar, you're in twice. Edgar in twice. So right now, as it stands, we have raised $770 for the Driven Throughout the Journey Foundation. $770, but I just saw one. My dad and Amy are in. $790 raised so far for the Driven Throughout the Journey Foundation. I mean this, y'all. It's unbelievable, I think, what people are able to do on this show. Yes, Anthony, you're in twice. Angel Gonzalez just joined. I got you. So here's what we're going to do. This will be your final call to get in. Can you one more time show the photo of the Venmo graphic for me? And if you want a chance to get in, you can add me as a friend at Mitchell Renz 365, or you get out your camera, take a picture, hover over this QR code right here, and you can click on the link that pops up. You can get out your camera, act like you're going to take a picture of this QR code, link's going to pop up, you click on that name, that's going to be me. Cool? I want y'all to get in. I want y'all to have an opportunity to get a Dante Thornton Jr. signed jersey. And no matter what, even if you lose, you still donated money to an awesome cause, the Driven Throughout the Journey Foundation. My guitar, you talking to me? You talking to me? Yeah, I am talking to you. Last one that I got in here. Sean Martin. Awesome. Do you think we could do, instead of a normal duck race, we could get the dogs? Is that possible? Though, all right, I'm going to let y'all vote. How about this, Jack, before you pick it? Dogs or ducks? And I only say that because Dante Thornton went to Tennessee. The Volunteers, what, a dog, right? Their mascot's a dog. He also went to Oregon. They're the Ducks. So do you want dog race or a duck race? Oh, it's a live poll. I like it. I like it a lot. Are we going dogs or are we going ducks? We going Oregon Ducks or are we going Tennessee Volunteer Dogs? What are we going to go with? I see Joshua Martinez says dog. Gary Backus, dog. Seth, you're an Oregon fan. Ducks. Jake Serb, dog. I'll tell you what, man. This one has been close. Rick Kelly said it's been a long time since the Ducks. Def Halo, dog. Jake Serb, dog. If dogs gets to 70%, I'm calling it. Bayou Raider! Bang! All right. Bayou wants the dogs. We go get Bayou the dogs. Come on, man. Bayou Raider. What is going on? This guy's been on an absolute flippin' tear the entire offseason. Bayou Raider. What is good? Rebel, I got you, my man. Rebel said, wait a minute. Let me get in that. Rebel, I got you. Jim Brown, I got you. We have raised $820 for the Driven Throughout the Journey Foundation. Now, final call to get in. I know there's a lot of people that are in right now, and I think it's amazing what we've been able to do. Really, really greatly appreciate it. So, Jack, if you could go in that doc for me, copy all the names that are in, and then we're going to get ready to do this race right now. So, if you don't know what a duck race is, if you don't know what you're about to see, you're about to see 82 icons, 82 dogs running on a screen. Whoever comes in first place, you're going to get a signed Dante Thornton Jr. jersey. Whoever comes in last place, y'all can tell them what they win. I trust y'all to tell everybody what they win if they come in last place. Yeah, hey, it is a little risque. You know, it's a little risque. Gary said duck head on a dog body. I bet you if there's one person that could figure out how to do that, it'd be Chugs. But I think we're going to do... What is that? I'll tell you this. This is not the dog race I expected. So I think the other one is Greyhound. Yeah, I think so. Jack got us one where I was like, I've never seen that type of dog race. Do you want the normal dogs or the dogs that Jack found? Because the Greyhounds are legit. Rebel said, ask Bayou. Bayou, you want new dogs or the Greyhounds that we usually do? Jack said we're doing Greyhounds. That's fair enough. I will say this, the Greyhound's probably one of the best races that we do. What up, Zon? What up, Zon? All right, so here is what we have as it stands right now. Can you give me a refresh? Just like a recycling? Yeah, a little shuff piece. Little shuff piece down there. Mark Call down there below. All right, so we got 4 shuffles in there. Final refresh on my Venmo. I don't have anybody else in. Winner of this is going to go home with a signed Dante Thornton Jr. jersey. Not today. You'll get it. It's going to be after my honeymoon. We're still working out some of the logistics to get it here. You will get it. I've already talked to his agent. I've talked to Dante. He's a man of his word. And then whoever comes, all the money that we have raised today, again, pat yourself on the back. It's going to go to Dante Thornton Jr.'s Driven Throughout the Journey Foundation. Good luck to all of y'all. Edgar says, wait a minute, I sent another one. Edgar. Yeah, I got you, dude. I think the last name that I saw in here is, we got Sean. Okay. Yeah, Edgar, I got you down for 2. I got you. Actually, Edgar, you're right. You just sent another one in. So, Edgar, if you're like Edgar and you're waiting till the last moment, let me know. Because Edgar, that one just came in for me. Add another one in there for Edgar. Yep. No more. No more. No more. Ready to rock. Ready to rock. I'll also tell you this. If I spelt your name wrong, I'm sorry. I try to do my best. The one that I was just looking at was Shimon Martin. I think you're going to look like Sean Martin. I'm just letting you know. If you win, though, you're going to get the jersey. 3, 2, 1. Let's run it here. Come on, man. Who is going to go home with a signed Dante Thornton Jr. jersey? Yeah, Sean Martin up there. That's S-H-A-M-O-N Martin. So that's the one you want to root for. Mark Call, Justin Sterling, Christopher Davis, Pete Cast, Gabriel Sos, Yoda Jenkins, Seth Milborn, Jim Brown. 30 seconds to go. Right now we got Mark Call in the lead, followed by Michael Tolbert. Don't sleep on Justin Sterling. Stanley Holmes. Stanley Holmes. Watch out there from the back. Dungeon Fitness, 17 seconds to go. Soldier Man down there at the bottom. Juan Nav, Raul, Mike Tolbert by a nose. Dungeon Fitness is right there. Somebody's going to go home with a sign. Is it going to be Husker? Come on, Husker. Come on, Husker. Melinda, Nico, Jesse Patrick. What an unbelievable race. Second place was Melinda, who had 5 different dogs in that race. Husker Raider had 2 top 10 finishes. All right, so hang on a second here. I'm going to message Jesse Patrick. Jesse, I hope that you're here still. Who came in last? Dungeon Fitness. Dungeon Fitness is going to be fitting this last place picture. You know where. Relax. All right, hang on a second here, Jesse. I'm looking for... Can you go back to it, Jesse Patrick? I must have passed it. Jesse Patrick. I got you. Okay, hang on a second here. I actually think this might be his first ever. Nope. Second ever duck race. His first ever was January 4th, 2024. Jesse, I'm going to send you a message. Please send me your shipping address and first and last name if it's different. All right, Jesse, I just sent you a message on Venmo. You can check the comments of the first Venmo that you sent me, and it is, please send me your shipping address, first and last name. If it's not, Jesse Patrick. Cool? Jesse, congratulations to y'all, man. All right, man. I'm getting ready to hop on out of here today. I just wanted to say, from the bottom of my heart, I think it's really cool what we were able to do today and accomplish. Not only did we get an NFL player, a Raiders wide receiver, somebody that has been creating headlines the moment he has stepped on the practice field. Really, really cool to be able to do that. And here's the thing, though. I want to be able to do more interviews. I want to be able to do more shows like we're doing today, because in the dog days of summer, the dog days of the offseason, these days really help us, kind of get going, and it kind of helps create the channel, keeping it real. So if you want to see more player interviews, I hope that you subscribe to the channel. I hope that you see what we did today and how cool it was. I hope that you all pat yourself on the back, because we raised $830 for the Driven Throughout the Journey Foundation. And I'll say this, Dante's going to remember that. The Raiders organization, they might not see it, but I hope that Dante speaks highly of what we were able to do today, and I hope that more players out there, if you're a Raiders player, if you're out there and you got a foundation, you got a charity, I'll do this every time if you're just willing to give me 30 minutes of your time and pull up here on the Raiders Report and let the nation ask you some questions. I want to give a huge shout out to Jack Lotteray for stepping in for a sick Jeremy Chuggs today. I want to give a huge shout out to my man Chuggs for building in this show at home despite him not feeling well. I want to give a shout out to one of our new guys in the studio. His name's Xavier. You guys might meet him in a few months. When do you turn 21? October, he turns 21. October 13th. October 13th. That might be a hell of a show. I will be back tomorrow, just so all y'all know. I don't know if Jeremy's playing sick because the Raiders play the Texans tomorrow in our Madden sim, but friendly reminder that tomorrow will be my last show before my honeymoon, and I'm going to be away for a little bit, so there's not going to be any live shows next week. I know it sucks unless there's breaking news, but you guys will still get videos every day next week. Chuggs has got you up to date as soon as the Raiders guys start practicing. But I mean it. Awesome shit today. Dante Thornton, thank you so much for joining the show. Shout out to the nation. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific. Raiders better take down the Texans.